It is a sad day for the world of cricket. News coming in just a few hours back from Mumbai that Dean Jones, former Australia batsman and such a popular, such a well-loved commentator, broadcaster, T20 coach, a man who wore so many hats, has left us. And as we look back at the life of Dean Jones, the impressions that he left on his peers and the fans alike, and the legacy that he leaves behind, this is an interaction with Tom Moody, who shared the dressing room with Dino on so many occasions, including two World Cups, a World Cup win in these parts of the world. There's an enduring affection towards Dean Jones in these parts of the world, Tom. It's a sad day for cricket the world over, and in particular for Australian cricket.
Yeah, look, absolutely. You know, Dino's a huge loss, and first and foremostly to his family and his close loved ones. You know, Jane and the girls, are losing a father and a husband. It's just unbelievable to get your head around, to be honest with you. Dino was an infectious character. He was totally committed and married to the game as well. He had a real passion for the game of cricket at a very deep level. He just wasn't someone that enjoyed the game on the surface. He enjoyed the game from the very deep roots of the game.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of cricket fans from the younger generations would enjoy the characters that Dean Jones played while he was on television. He was such a popular figure in the media. Let's go back to the early playing days, perhaps, and maybe your first impressions and interactions with Dino.
Yeah, look, Dino's a bit older than me. So when I first came into first-class cricket, playing for Western Australia against Victoria, where Dino played all of his state cricket, he was a tough opponent simply because he was very, very good. He was a cut above the rest from his batsmanship skills. He delivered more often than not for Victoria, and hence going to higher honours. But he was a real competitor. But I think more importantly, the thing about Dino is that he always tried to grow within the game, and what I mean by that is he was always looking to explore how to get better in every aspect of the game, and that continued outside of his playing career into his coaching, into his commentary, and just someone that thought deeply about the game.
Yes, we talk about what the cricketing world knew of Dean Jones, and perhaps it's not stated enough, the pioneering batsman that he was. He used to walk down the track to fast bowlers. He had that urgency in running between the wickets that we almost consider normal today. But this was Dean Jones playing his white ball cricket in the mid 80s to the mid 90s. Just tell me your impressions of what you saw Dean Jones at a time where he was doing things that a few others were.
Yeah, look, there's no question, and pioneer is the right word. He was a pioneer. He was way ahead of his time. He would have loved to have played T20 cricket. We know that he's commentated on it. We also know that he's coached successfully in the T20 format, but he would have been a very, very good player in this format purely because he understood how to, as I touched on earlier, to grow within the game, sort of explore different ways to perform, and at the end of the day, that's what cricketers are looking to do is perform with the bat or the ball. So he was doing stuff that people at the time in the mid to late 80s were looking and frowning at, thinking, well, you can't do that. That's surely not right. But it was all within the rules and the spirit of the game. But he was just looking to challenge the game and challenge his opponent. And people look back on it now, and as you say, it's standard practice now that you walk across your crease and expose all your stumps, or you just walk at a bowler, or you run between the wickets like a madman, even though there's only an obvious single there. He was just doing stuff way beyond his time, not only with batting, but also in the field.
Yeah, and that's the impression that he left in white ball cricket. Let it not be forgotten that Dean Jones represented Australia in 52 test matches, averaged over 46, 1100s in those, and most famously would be remembered for that epic double hundred that he scored in the tight test in Madras in 86. So this here was a batsman who wasn't just ahead of his time in white ball cricket. Tommy was also a pretty good red ball batsman as well.
Yeah, better than pretty good. He was an outstanding test cricketer. You look at those numbers, and those numbers you need to remember that they're sort of back and relate to the time that he played. A lot of test averages are a little bit more inflated in this current generation for various reasons. But Dean Jones, I believe, had his Test career cut short. He could have played a lot more Test cricket than he did in 52 Test matches. And after he lost his position in the Test side, he went on and continued just to pile on the runs in first-class cricket for Victoria. So even though Australia missed out, Victoria were the beneficiary of his class and his quality.
Yeah, I'm just trying to hope that the internet connection improves. We're just trying to continue this chat with Tom Moody. We remember the wonderful moments that Dean Jones gave us on the cricketing field, of which there were many, including the quality of bowlers that he faced in his time, and to end with the numbers that Dean Jones did. But the other conversation on Dean Jones is the character that he was off the field. Now, we've seen what he was on our TV screens today, but what was he like in the dressing room, Tom?
Oh, look, Dino was, like he was always a busy type character. Rarely would keep still. He was always thinking about the game, or always, keen to have a chat. He was not someone that would sit quietly in a dressing room and read a book. He was more interested in sitting around a group of players and talking about the game and having a laugh. He was very much one of those players that was the heart and soul of a dressing room. He copped, a lot of teasing, but he also gave a lot out. That was the beauty of, I suppose, the spirit he played the game. He was always up for a laugh and always up to, challenge his teammates and his opponents. But, it's just hard to get your head around that someone that is as big a figure as Dino is and character that he is in our game has now been lost. Obviously, he won't be forgotten, but he's a big spirit that's had a huge impact on our game at many different levels.
Yes, and amongst his more fondly remembered for his tremendous contribution in white ball cricket, including his significant contribution in the 1987 World Cup that Australia won in these parts of the world, and 164 appearances in ODI cricket for Dean Jones, over 6,000 runs, averaged nearly 45, and plenty of very effective 90s among those 46 half centuries, 700s. And you shared a dressing room with him in Australia, won their first ever World Cup. That must have been special, Tom.
Yeah, look, again, that 87 World Cup was an unexpected win for Australia, and one of the reasons it was a successful campaign was because of people like Dean Jones. He had a very good tournament, along with the likes of Jeff Marsh and David Boone and Alan Border. Dino, again, was, showing off his, pioneering skills at the early stages of that World Cup. And he, along with a few others, caught our opponents by surprise. But Dino, there's no doubt, was I think more remembered and admired for his white ball cricket purely because of the innovation that he brought to the white ball game. But we mustn't forget, Dean Jones, which we've touched on, as the Test cricketer. He was a pure cricketer. He was the quintessential all-round cricketer that could dominate Test cricket along with all the other formats that he played.
Top-class cricketer. And as we just move towards the end of this conversation, for the younger fans that have come to love Dean Jones, the broadcaster, one thing that stands out, Tom, is his remarkable passion and enthusiasm to want to stay connected with cricket. He would cover even grassroots level cricket in India. He would cover leagues like the TNPL, KPL. I saw a wonderful tweet from a colleague of mine who said he went to places where others were hesitant to. He went to Afghanistan. He just wanted to be around cricket. That in a way sums up what you know of Dean Jones, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely it does. He was very much connected with the whole game, and he wasn't selective. He wasn't a cricketing snob, so to speak, and would only be present at the main events. He wanted to be involved in all the events, and he had an interest in all the events at all levels. And Dino, the wonderful spirit about Dino is also that he was prepared to have a laugh about himself as well. He had this persona of Professor Dino, and he got dressed up, and he pretended to be this sort of university lecturer or school lecturer, and played, had fun with it. But it was his way of sharing the game in a quirky way. and engaging a new audience, which he did. So, Dino has left an enormous legacy to our game, and we've got a huge amount to thank.
Tom Moody, thank you so much for your time and your thoughts as we look back at Dean Jones. It's an absolute pleasure talking to you. Sad day for cricket, but we will remember Dean Jones for all the wonderful memories that he's given us, both on the field and off it.